down to the mat and finding yourself in Shavasana to start. So lying down in corpse pose, the one we finished in the other day, one of the oldest poses, well, from the fact that, as I said, human beings have always lain down to rest and find peace and quiet and sleep, etc. So finding this pose again. I know you've just got up, but we'll start from here. So I'm not going to lie down, so I can just chat to you while I'm doing this. So this yoga pop-up, as you lie here in Shavasana, this yoga pop-up, we've done 8 classes this time on a theme of what is yoga. And each time we've said yoga is something. We've done yoga is staying grounded. Yoga is moving meditation. Yoga is energy cleansing. Yoga is challenging. Yoga is restorative. Yoga is life from a different angle. And yoga is ancient and modern. So all those premises about what yoga might be, I could list thousands more. And for every one of us, yoga is the same and also something different. A lot of us get the same thing from classes, but each one of us will get something different from each class each time we come to the mat. So today's yoga is titled Whatever You Need. And we're going to bring from it whatever you need today, hopefully. So just lie here now and have a quick think about what do you need right now. One word, if possible, not a list, but what do you need right now? It might be that you need energy, it might be peace, it might be connection, it might be something deeper than that comes out. It may just be a little bit of space for yourself. But think just for a second, what do you need right now? Why did you come to the mat? What were you maybe subconsciously even looking for when you came today, apart from duty? So what do you need? So we're taking that word now, and any of you that have done Yoga Nidras with me or Yoga Nidras with anybody else will know that in Yoga Nidra we use a Sankalpa. A Sankalpa is an ancient premise. It was mentioned 1500 years BC in the Rig Veda, this word. San means highest truth, coming from your inner self is the way I would interpret that, the highest truth. And Kalpa means a sacred vow. So the idea is it's an intention, a promise to yourself, in other words, to your real self. So in Buddhism, it was phrased as an idea formed in the heart or mind, a private meditation, a deep resolve or an intention to bring about positive change in one's life. So we're going to use this Sankalpa with that word that has just come up in your head, and we're going to use it on our breath as we practice today. It's a bit of a physical practice. It's not lying here being restorative, but we're going to try and keep this Sankalpa in our mind and just notice if that resolve starts to form into that positive change. So take that word now in your head, the one that you found, what you need right now, and add it to the little phrase, I need. You can add now at the end if you want to, or just I need. So I need peace, I need connection, whatever it is that came up in your head. I need. And then start to notice your breath, become aware of your breath, and slowly start to work with your breath. We say controlling it, but maybe working with it is a nicer phrase. So working with your breath, start to inhale a little bit deeper and exhale from deeper within you. take a couple of breaths and then add saying that Sankalpa to yourself. So I need whatever it is. And the way I would do it is I'd inhale and say I need, and exhale and say the word. So take 2 or 3 goes at that, just practicing with that Sankalpa, and maybe getting a bit more resolute with it as you say it more and more. So think of it as a little promise to yourself. So once you've got used to that and you're still on the breath, keep that phrase in your head. We're going to use it now as we go through the class. You can let go of it for a second and maybe let go of the breath if you want to, and just have a full body stretch. Reaching out, slowly wakening up from Shavasana, reaching out and releasing back towards your center point, letting your shoulders slip back down the mat, letting your hips come towards your waist again. And then take a right side body stretch. So inhaling maybe as you stretch out and reach out through the sole of your foot and through your fingertips, moving from the waist up and down, exhaling, taking it back towards that point on your waist. Same thing on the left side, have a nice big stretch from the waist down and up. Exhaling and releasing that stretch. Slowly bringing your arms back down and round, bringing one leg in and come into half Apanasana. Take a hold of the back of your thigh or the front of your shin. And as you inhale, just release the knee a little bit away from you, holding onto your leg still. And as you exhale, draw the leg towards you. So drawing your thigh towards your belly. So opening up the back of the hips. Take a couple of those, just get used to the movement again on the breath. And then add your Sankalpa and say it 3 times on the next 3 breaths as you take your leg out on the inhale. It's only a tiny movement, and then you squeeze it in gently on the exhale. So you're saying, I need whatever it is you need. And then let go of that leg, let it come to the floor, slip it out to long, and then draw your other knee in. Same thing on the other side. So just get the breath and the movement going first for a couple of goes. And then once you've got that rhythm going, add in your Sankalpa. So the Sankalpa might change as we go through this. So just notice as we go through and you're using it, if the Sankalpa doesn't feel right anymore, maybe you've already achieved that, maybe you're suddenly yourself saying you need something else. Okay, after that, pop your foot to the floor, take the legs away, have a little stretch just through your legs, and then bring them back in one at a time into full Apanasana, so both legs in. And just have a little rock through from side to side across the back of your body. No need for the Sankalpa. You can use the breath if you want to here to slow you down, but just have a rock through, a little massage through the back of your body, across the back of your hips and shoulders particularly. Maybe you can feel it and go with it on the back of your skull as well. If you get dizzy, please stop. Coming to a standstill, and draw your tummy in now, and we're going to draw our head up. So draw your tummy in, tuck your chin, and then from the base of your spine, start to roll up. So lifting up carefully until you come into hedgehog, or your version of hedgehog. Legs are up, but your hands can still be behind your thighs if you want, or they can even be on your feet if you really want to go into a tight hedgehog. It's about choosing what you want this morning as well, which will fit with your intention. Have a couple of breaths here, quite a contained thing, quite difficult to breathe. And then release the feet down one at a time to the floor. And go back to your stretch out fully. Both sides, have a lovely big stretch. And then hold that stretch. And say your Sankalpa 3 times on the next 3 breaths. Just say your Sankalpa to yourself. Maybe softening slightly on each exhale. So I need. Reach out for it on the I need. And after the third one, bring yourself back to center. Allow your body to release again back towards sort of your belly button area. Bring your right leg in again into half Apanasana. We're going to take half Jathara Parvrtti here. So a twist over towards your left now. So your right leg's up. Your left hand's on the outside of your right thigh. Take your right hand out and take it out to the side at shoulder height roughly. And turn the palm upwards. Ready. If you need to turn the palm downwards because you want a little bit more stability, feel free to do that. Otherwise, turn the palm upwards if you can. Breathe in, and as you exhale, roll over onto your left hip. So rolling over onto your side and allowing that top leg to cross over. Your back shoulder may come up a little bit. Don't worry about that. Find the floor with your foot. Your folded leg foot, so that you feel quite stable through the bottom half there. And then on your top half, move that back shoulder just a little bit outwards and turn your head to look towards it, palm upwards now if you can. So quite a big twist to come into. If you can't feel it really, draw your knee in a little bit closer to your chest, the one that's the top leg. See if you can just draw it up a little bit more, and you'll feel it a little bit more through your hip then. So yoga is about feeling, it's about experiencing things. The more we feel, the more we can understand what's happening in the pose or in our bodies. So now go back to your Sankalpa, say it 3 times on 3 breaths. And then when you're ready, draw that knee in, the upper leg just a little bit closer. Inhale and use your tummy muscles to roll you back up to the top. Use your other hand to help that leg up. Take that foot down carefully. Have a right side body stretch before we move over onto the other side. So moving to the other side, bring your left knee up. Use your right hand on the outside just to help guide it. Put your left hand out so that it's ready to balance you. Turn the palm up if you can. Inhale, roll over onto your right hip this time. Watch what's happened with that back shoulder, but don't worry about it. Let the left leg come down so that the foot feels it's on the floor. So don't worry if your shoulders really come up off the floor to do this. Make sure you feel stable on the bottom half. And then just gently open up your clavicle, your collarbone on that left hand side. Stretch out a little bit more with the back hand and just gently move that shoulder out and see if you can get it down a little bit closer to the floor and turn your head to look that way. So now find your breath and take your Sankalpa again 3 times. Working with the mind and the body to find what we really need this morning. And every one of us needs something different. Even if it's the same word, it will have a different meaning to us. After your 3rd breath, or 4th or whatever you're on, draw the knee in towards your chest, draw your head back up to center, roll back up onto your back and take a left side body stretch. And then release everything back to center, bring your arms down, roll over onto your belly, take your time and come into child's pose. So Balasana, child's pose. So take it easy coming into this. Have your hips back. We are going to take the side bends in this, so it doesn't matter too much if your head's up high at the start. If you can cross your arms and just pop your head on the back of your hand, just for a second. Just take 2 or 3 breaths here. Take your Sankalpa again. Use your Sankalpa. I need whatever. And notice if that word's getting a bit stale for you. Maybe it's that it's already beginning to happen. If it was energy or if it was a bit of peace, maybe you're already starting to find it. So after your third breath, take yourself over to the right. So lift your head carefully and walk your arms over to the right into that Anjaneyasana feeling in Balasana. And then head can rest on your upper arm if you need to rest your head. But just enjoy that side stretch. Try and drop that back hip, the left hip, the one that's stretching, that side that's stretching, or opening if you want to use that word. Then try and drop that back hip a little bit closer to the heel and get a bit more sensation then through the lower hip there. And just breathe here. So as you breathe, think of that word that you put into the Sankalpa. Are you starting to reach that intention? Do you want to change the word? There is no need to keep with that word right through practice. If you want to change something, then please do. Change your pose, change your word. And then walk over to the left-hand side. Take the same side bend here. Have a little reach out. Again, still thinking. If you're happy with the word in your Sankalpa, if you still want that to be your intention, your promise to yourself, then stick with it. If you feel that maybe now something's telling you there's something else you need, then change the phrase I need and use a different word at the end. And then walk back to center. And then come up to tabletop. You're going to take cat-cow. I'm not going to cue it too much, but just think of that long spine as we start. Inhale in neutral, exhale into cat. So I'm not cueing so much because I want you to find what you need from what you're doing today. Exhale into cat, inhale into cow. If you've gone off in the wrong breath, try it a different way. It might actually be better for you. Changing things up is sometimes what we need to do. So you might want to try moving on the breath in a different pattern. Or you might just be happy doing what you normally do. It might be that sense of security. It might be that you get more from it through doing something that you know is familiar. Familiarity doesn't always breed contempt rather, can be content. Okay, come to a standstill after your next one and just start to take some hip circles. So just rolling around your knees really. Little or big, depends how you feel like you want to move this morning. You might even start to sink your hips back and really make it quite a big dynamic movement there. Come back slowly towards center and then take it in the other direction. Big or little. As you do this, watch what's happening. You're also doing a little bit through your shoulders, which we're going to move into in a second. Come back to neutral and then move into your shoulders. Now see if you can do circles through your shoulders. So you're just moving really your weight from hand to hand. A little bit more difficult, doesn't work as fluidly for me, particularly on one side of me, you can feel. Come back to neutral, take it in the other direction. So moving your weight, still moving through your knees, but you want to feel the weight moving through your hands, be more aware of what's happening through your hands, which is making your shoulders go into a circle. And then come to a standstill. I'm going to thread the needle now. So we're in the right position. You might want to widen your knees just slightly. Depends on your hips. It can be a little bit less strong through your back if your knees are a bit wider here. So we're moving into the right hand in tabletop. And then we're sweeping the left hand up on an inhale. And as you exhale, you're folding back down through that rotation. Taking your left hand under your right arm and you're bringing your head down carefully to the floor. And you're resting there. So before we do our Sankalpa here, think of what's happened with your hips. Mine have wandered over to the right, I can feel that. So draw them back towards centre so you feel your hips are still above your knees. Use your right hand, the one that's on the floor here, use it to just gently push into so that you're not putting too much pressure through your left shoulder and the side of your head. And then take 3 breaths here and use your Sankalpa on the breath. So I need, and whatever word now fits that phrase. Maybe the same one, maybe different. After your third one, coming slowly out of it, using your right hand just to gently push into, rolling up, opening up into the opposite twist just to lift the hand up, and then bringing that hand to the floor. Take a rest if you need to, otherwise moving on to the other side. So inhaling the arm up, exhaling, dipping down, folding that arm under, taking the head down to the floor carefully. You can always use a cushion or a block here. If it's just not comfortable for you, you can use support, remember. Make sure those hips are squared above the knees. Make sure you feel comfortable. And once you feel comfortable, take your Sankalpa 3 times again on the next 3 breaths. Make the breaths nice and long and slow and deep. In your own time moving, so if you're not quite finished with me yet, gently bring yourself out of it when you're ready. Have a stretch upwards, bring your hands back to tabletop. And then we're just going to take our right leg back on the tiptoes, on the toe on the floor. Roll onto the ball of that foot after you've extended it. Just extend through the sole of the foot there. So reaching out through the sole of the foot. At the same time, push into your hand and reach out through the crown of your head. Draw your tummy up. Lift up through your shoulders just a little bit more. If you can and you want to, take the left hand along the floor in front of you, the opposite arm. You can keep it on the floor still with the fingertips but extend it, or lift it up to shoulder height if you're comfortable with the balance. So if you're not, doesn't matter. If you're up, flex the hand as well, like you flex your foot, and see if you can reach through the palm and reach through the sole of the opposite foot. And breathe. Can you manage a Sankalpa here? Try it if you can. 3 breaths. Maybe too much multitasking. And release the hand. Maybe focusing on your Sankalpa actually makes it easier. Draw the right knee in, take the left foot back out on the floor. If anybody wants to take the leg up as well, then please feel free. Reach out in either direction in whichever way you want to. You know the options now. Lifting if you want to. Flexing if you've lifted. Holding, breathing. Make sure the hips stay parallel to the floor. Reaching through both hand and foot wherever you happen to be. And take your Sankalpa. Even if you can, close your eyes. I noticed I started to use the Ujjayi breath with that there, which is interesting because it was quite strong what I was doing. The body tells you what to do. Okay, so in tabletop, taking the right leg out to the side in a folded position, and we're taking our hip circles. So you're out at 90 degrees with a 90-degree angle behind your foot and in front of your ankle, or as much as you can towards a 90 degrees. And then just taking some little hip circles in one direction, and then in the other. Keep that tummy engaged, keep that long feeling through your spine. Keep that connection to the hands and the knee that are on the floor. Pop that knee down. Have a stretch if you need to, otherwise moving into the other side. Few circles in one direction, big or little. Try and connect with the pose, trying to think of what you can do to find what you need in this pose. You might need to soften it, it might be a little bit too strong. Don't forget to go in the other direction with the hip circles. Might want to lower the legs slightly. And then bring the knee to the floor. We're going to sit back now, using your hands, sit back onto your knees. You can either just kneel here, or you can come into broken toes. So fold your toes under if you're coming into that, and kneel back onto your hips. But you're up on the ball of your foot here. Make sure your toes are all tucked under. Bring your hands, everybody, whether you're kneeling or in broken toe, to heart center. Drawing your thumbs towards your heart, drawing your tummy in and drawing your chest up and your heart slightly forward. And a slight feeling of a back bend almost. Lift up through your crown. Close your eyes. Find your Sankalpa. Find your breath. Take 3 breaths using that Sankalpa. I'm still here. After the 3rd breath and the 3rd Sankalpa, we're going to come up now by rolling up. So hands to the floor, open the eyes, come onto the ball of the feet, let the heels come down, let the knees be soft. And then just find your breath and inhaling, rolling up gently, up to standing, looking along the mat, rolling out through the shoulders, opening up the palms of the hands, come up to Tadasana. Find that mountain pose. Okay, so we're going to go into sun salutation now. I don't feel right doing it this way round. So we're doing sun salutation, and we'll do 1 round of it, which means you do it both sides. So it feels like you've done it twice almost. Options are not to do plank, but to do half plank. Not to do down dog, but to do tabletop. So you know the pattern of sun salutation, so you know when I say down dog, you go into tabletop. So take this the way you want to do it this morning. Before we do that, we're just going to warm up a little bit with what I call skier, which is just taking our arms up in front of us and sweeping them down. So it's just a roll up and down through the spine. You can do it without moving too far, or you can just build up and go a little bit deeper each time. Or you can really go down and take the arms up and sweep them up, maybe up above you. It's just a way of getting our body energized. So do the way that you feels right for you. Do it slowly so you're not getting head rush. So I'm going to take the arms up above my head. And as I exhale, I'm going to sweep down, take the arms up behind me into what I would call bird. And then sweep them back up in front of me and come up and reach up into an extension. And then same thing, so rolling down through, rolling back up. When I come up the next time, I'm going to go into a bit more of a back bend because I feel that's what I want this morning. But you may be happy staying almost standing and doing this, just getting a bit of circulation moving, getting the prana life force moving through us, which isn't just circulation, obviously, but getting some energy moving through us before we start to do our sun salutations. Joints and muscles should have warmed up a little bit with what we've done. So after the next one, come back up to standing, bring the hands down through heart center, and get ready for our sun salutation. We'll take, I'm going to take swaying palm tree, but if you'd rather do one arm side bends or even hands on the waist side bends, then please take it that way, because it's quite heavy with your hands above your head. See how you feel. Okay, inhaling at the front of the mat, arms up above the head. Exhaling, turn the palms, arms come down as we take the energy downwards. Inhaling, take the arms up above the head. I'm going to keep my arms up, and as I exhale, I'm going to sway gently over towards the right on a side bend. So remember, it's armpit to hip. It's not folding at the waist. Back up to the top. I'm staying there. I'm reaching up in the next inhale, and I'm exhaling over to the left. So do be aware that the arms are heavy. It will feel that you're overbalancing if you do it at the waist. One more each side. Inhaling tall, exhaling armpit to hip. As I say, you can do one arm, you can take the arms to your waist here, whatever you feel. Next, inhale, tall through from the feet, exhale over to the left. Back up to the top, exhale the arms down. Going to inhale again, and we're coming into Uttanasana, our forward fold. So gently sweeping or rolling, however you're going down into your forward fold this morning. When you're down in your forward fold, inhale and reach out into half forward fold. Exhale and roll back into your forward fold. Hands to the floor, step back with the right foot, come into your low lunge position. Working on the breath again, you can stay here and just breathe, or you can inhale and reach up, extend or back bend, whichever you feel you want to do. Exhaling back down, hands to the floor, stepping back into plank or half plank. And then find your breath again. Inhale long in half plank or plank, half plank, knees on the floor, remember. Exhale, we're slowly coming down to the floor, elbows tight to the side and going backwards. Heart coming forwards, down to the floor, untuck the toes if you're in plank. Everybody be ready, we're coming into cobra. Inhaling, rolling up into cobra. Tight arms to the side, use your arms to stabilize you here. Exhale back down to the floor. Anybody needs a rest at any point, please take it. Otherwise, it's up to tabletop or down dog. Whichever one you're in, you're taking the left foot, you're taking the right foot up or rocking back and bringing the right foot forward and coming into your other side of low lunge. When you're ready, inhaling, rolling up, opening up in low lunge. Exhaling, taking the hands back down to the floor, stepping the back foot forward, coming into forward fold again. When you're ready, inhale, sweeping up, slowly looking along the floor, up the wall, taking your time, hands above the head, down through heart center, and back to the start. I'm going to go again. Try and do this one on the breath if you can. Inhaling, arms up above the head. We'll only do 2 side bends this time, one either side. Exhaling, arms come down. Taking your side bend or your swaying palm tree, arms up above the head. I'm going to go left this time for the first one. Inhaling, take the arms back up to the top. Exhale there. Inhale, reach up through. Exhale over to your right hand side. Inhaling back up to the top. Exhaling, swan dive into your forward fold. Inhaling into your half fold. Reaching out. If I'm going too fast, you want to take it slower, please do. Rolling down into forward fold, hands to the floor, step back with the left foot this time. Inhaling, rolling up. We'll have some time to catch up at the end, so if you want to go slower and not in the breath so much, please take it in your own time. Hands come down, otherwise if you're with me, step back into plank or half plank. Lowering down on an exhale to the floor, carefully. Finding your inhale as you roll up into cobra or baby cobra, however you're doing it this morning. Rolling back down, down dog or tabletop now as we lift up on the inhale. Left leg comes up or you rock back and bring the left foot forward, everybody into our low lunge. Inhaling, opening up into that upper body stretch. Take the hands back down, step forward with the back foot, come into your forward fold. And last inhale on this round, looking forward, rolling up, reaching up, hands into Anjali Mudra, drawing down through on the exhale to finish our one round of sun salutation. And just stand in Tadasana for a moment, eyes open, and just think about that Sankalpa again for a moment. Has anything changed? Maybe you found something you didn't expect. We often go looking for something and find something else. So maybe that's more what you needed, but hopefully what you thought you needed will come up later. Okay, so having a little shake out, we're going to just take a bit of fun here before we finish. We're going to find our straps, because yoga is not all serious, and this is, well, it depends how you look at it, if it's fun or not. We're going to take big toe using our straps. Have a wall or a chair if you need something to steady you here. I'm going to do it quite quickly because we're running out of time. So moving into the left leg, draw that hip in, make sure you've got the stability there. Strap goes round your foot. I haven't hooked mine today, I'm just going to hold it. So round the foot, bring the knee up as if you were doing half Apanasana again. So really draw it up. And then let the foot flex and draw the heel forward. So just starting opening up the back of that leg and see where you're comfortable. You may find it's more comfortable down here. You may find you're more comfortable up here with the knee bend. Wherever you feel you're more comfortable. But flex that foot and really reach the sole of the foot out, whether you've got a bent knee or not. And then draw the strap up if you can and lift the leg a bit higher. Whoops. So you can have the foot facing forward here. You can have the foot slightly out. If you really want to be different today, you can have the foot out to the side. Or you can cross the foot. Whoa, I'm not going to do this in a one. Cross the foot and take it in the other direction if you want to do something different. So whenever you've got to, see if you can now lift that other arm up. You might can slowly lift it up to shoulder height. You might can place it on the wall and push against it and lift yourself up. You might be able to take it up above your head, or you might reach onto the wall and have it up high. But wherever you are, see how big you can make this pose. We're not going to go to holding the big toe this morning, we're just using the strap. And then releasing carefully down to the floor. And have a shake out of that leg. Go for the other one now. So strap round your foot, round the ball of the foot. Draw the knee up again, as I say, as close as you can, standing nice and tall. So have that nice long body feeling, but draw the knee towards your chest. And then flex the foot and move the heel out the way to wherever you're comfortable. Pick which position you want the leg to be in. If you want to move it around and have the balance, then feel free. Hand, slowly you can move it up. Stop on the wall if you need to. Take it up above your head if you can. Reach up from the foot to the fingertips. Lift that leg just a little bit higher. Draw the tummy in. Draw the chest backwards. So try to watch you're not curling forwards. And smile. Big smile. And then release the foot down. So if you've achieved nothing and your Sankalpa hasn't quite come to fruition yet, you've managed big toe this morning. Okay, so coming back down to the floor just to finish. Rolling down slowly, taking your time, maybe having a dangle there in ragdoll if you feel you need it. And then coming down, coming onto your back again. We're going to take that half Jathara Parvrtti once more. So lifting the right knee in first of all, crossing it over. We know what we're doing now. So find your version of Jathara Parvrtti, half Jathara Parvrtti. Find your settled version. Look towards your back hand, let that shoulder drop, excuse me. And then go back to your Sankalpa. So rather than saying it this time, think of the word that you found at the beginning and notice if anything has changed and if you've moved towards achieving whatever it was you wanted for yourself. Mine was time, and that would be a miracle if I ever found time, but I've given myself time, which possibly is actually what I needed rather than what I thought I needed. So listening to your inner self for that intention isn't always easy. It can be the mind telling you what you need. But maybe you've found yourself in a better place, one way or another. Okay, so then rolling back up carefully, take that over to the other side after a bit of a stretch out through the right side. Take the left knee in, take the left leg over. Look to your left shoulder, see what you can do to try and open up through that area of your chest, looking backwards, opening up the side of the neck, finding a bit more rotation through the spinal column that way, and then just breathing. And setting intentions for ourselves. We were discussing last night, there's a podcast with a chap who's a Shaolin monk. And he said that the two practices that they concentrate on is mindfulness, so being really mindful of everything you do, particularly focusing it on when they eat. And intention is the other thing. So intention, doing everything with intention. And not necessarily everything with intention, but doing it with the right intention, looking to your heart to know why you're doing something. So again, a little bit of a different thought process from Sankalpa, but everything coming from the heart, not the head. So then just gently bring yourself back up. Drop that foot carefully to the floor, stretch out, and find yourself just in Shavasana for 2 or 3 more breaths before we finish class. Give yourself just that extra space. Have a quick body scan and see if anything physically has changed. Hopefully, yes. Hopefully you feel better, at least. Feel energized, feel more connected to your body. Have a quick mind scan and see if anything has changed. And then have a quick spiritual scan and see if anything has changed. And hopefully all 3 have gone in a positive direction. So yoga is whatever you need. But I took this quote, which I thought was very appropriate. Yoga is a broad subject matter spanning across every aspect of human existence to promote individual and social health and well-being. So I'll either stay here in Shavasana if you'd like a little bit more time. If not, then you have to come with me to finish. Please take your time, have a roll, have a shake, do whatever your body needs before you need to move. Roll up onto your side, take a couple of breaths and then move up. Don't get head rush, please, anybody. No need to rush on. 2 minutes won't make any difference to the day ahead. The thinking of the day ahead, as you do go through today, stop a few times if you get the chance and think of your Sankalpa that you used this morning and notice if the day is different because of having taken that Sankalpa at yoga. If it's not, maybe you just need to say it to yourself a few more times. Thank you everybody for this practice. I have just given £300 to Prostate Cancer UK on our behalf yesterday. which they were very grateful for. So thank you so much again for helping others through your yoga every time you come here. We will be back in about 2 weeks' time on the 9th of April. So I really look forward to seeing you all then. But I wish you all a very, very happy Easter and hope the sun shines. Thank you and namaste.